All right, so today we're going to unpack a business model you've probably seen pop up, becoming an IPTV reseller. We're going to look at one provider's own public materials to really see how this all works, from the initial buy-in to actually building a customer base. Let's dive right in.
And here we go. This is the big promise, right? Become IPTV reseller and make extra. It's that hook that gets you thinking, a simple path to some extra income. It's essentially pitched as a business in a box. So, you know what we're going to do? We're going to open that box and see what's really inside.
Okay, so first things first. If you're going to be a reseller, what are you even selling? Like, what's your actual product? What's the inventory you're handling and offering to customers? Let's take a look at the content library.
Well, the first thing that jumps out is just the sheer volume. I mean, look at this. You're starting with over 23,000 live TV channels. That's a lot.
And it doesn't stop there. On top of all those channels, you've also got a video on-demand library with, get this, more than 83,000 movies. And then, to round it all out, you've got over 15,000 TV series. So it's pretty clear, right? The whole business is basically built on offering this absolutely massive mountain of content.
Okay, but here's where things get really interesting, the technical details. It's not just about what people can watch, but how they can watch it. You can see here you've got different quality options like 4K and HD, and it's compatible with all the major devices. And see those two things, M3U and MAG? Those are basically the two main ways a customer gets set up. We'll circle back to that, but the big takeaway here is that it's designed to be super flexible. The goal is to make it work for pretty much anyone.
All right, so we get the product. It's a huge library of stuff to watch. Simple enough. But how do you actually get started as a reseller? What's the buy-in? Let's talk money, the investment, and how the pricing actually works.
So this table lays out the different ways you can get in. And the first thing you'll probably notice is that you're not paying per customer. No, instead, you buy these things called credits in big batches. And of course, the more you spend up front, going from that $330 basic package all the way up to the nearly $4,000 super package, the cheaper each individual credit gets. It's a pretty classic wholesale setup, really. But that leads to the obvious next question, doesn't it? What on earth are credits? You see the word, you see the prices, but how does that actually work? How do you turn these credits you just bought into actual money? Okay, so think of it like this. Credits are basically your inventory. They're like tokens. You buy a whole bunch of them up front, and that balance becomes the currency you use to activate a customer subscription. So instead of paying each time someone signs up, you're just spending the credits you've already paid for. You're basically paying for all your product's costs ahead of time. And this makes it super clear how that works. It's a really simple one-to-one conversion. One credit gets your customer 1 month of service. That's it. So if someone wants to sign up for a full year, boom, you use 12 of your credits to turn on their account. They've really made the math on this part as simple as possible. All right, so let's get into the nitty-gritty, the day-to-day stuff. You've bought your credits, you've got a customer who's ready to pay you. Now what? How do you actually use the system, the reseller panel, to get them hooked up? So when you're setting up a new customer, you're going to go down one of two main paths. You've got the M3U license, which is basically a username and password that they can use on a bunch of different apps, or you've got the MAG license, which is locked to one specific device. You actually tie it to the device's MAC address. Your main job here is just to figure out which one your customer needs for their setup. And this just shows you how simple they make it inside that reseller panel. It's literally just a few clicks. You pick how long the subscription is for, say a year. You choose the channel packages they want. You hit confirm, and that automatically deducts the right number of credits from your balance. Then the system just spits out a username, password, and URL, and you just copy and paste that over to your customer. Done. So let's be super clear about what your role is here. You're not the one fixing the streams if they buffer. That's not your job. Your job is all about customer management. You're the admin. You're the one using this panel to create accounts, maybe extend them, and just generally manage your little customer base. Now, with any kind of business in a box thing, you always got to read the fine print, right? The details really matter. So before we wrap this up, let's take a quick look at some of the really important rules you'd have to live by as a reseller. Okay, so a few really key things here. First off, you can only buy your credit packages with cryptocurrency. That's a big one to know right away. But here's a great tool they give you. You can create free trial accounts for potential customers, and they don't cost you any credits. That's huge for sales. Also, one subscription works on up to 5 devices, which is a great selling point. And maybe most importantly, your credits never expire. So there's no clock ticking forcing you to sell them off. And
Here it is. This might be the single most important line in all of their policies. Apologies, but we do not provide refunds under any circumstances. That means once you buy those credits, your money is gone. It's a done deal, which, makes that initial decision about how much to invest pretty darn important. So, if we boil it all down, that's the whole model right there. It's really just a classic wholesale business. You're buying your inventory, those credits, in bulk for a cheaper price. Then you turn around and sell it piece by piece as monthly or yearly subscriptions to your customers for more than you paid. And that difference, that markup, that's your profit. Simple as that.
So, look, the system itself seems pretty straightforward. The technology, the panel, how to create an account, that's all laid out for you. But it leaves out the single hardest part of running any business, doesn't it? They give you the what to sell and the how to sell it. But the who, as in who are my customers and how do I find them? Well, that part is 100% on you. And that right there is the real question you've got to ask yourself.